I'd like to say very simply, it's good to spend the weekend doing nothing but relaxing in smart knitwear.
Turn on the tape.
In the silent heart of a painted desert, 4 strange beings gather to find a sleeping colossus, each drawn by a purpose they do not fully understand. One digs toward a forgotten truth. One listens for whispers from beneath. One inscribes signs in the sand, and you mimic them all, searching for meaning before the colossus stirs. At the end, the giant god awakens, and what it becomes, salvation or undoing, depends on how the cards fall.
So for a while now, I've been playing around with the idea of using tarot cards as a game mechanic for a tabletop game. I was given some tarot cards as a gift for Christmas. They were made as merchandise for the band Goat, and although I don't know too much about tarot cards, they just look awesome, don't they? I've heard about playing cards being used as a mechanic, but with tarot you get these major Arcana cards. I thought it'd be interesting if these could be used to trigger special events. Anyway, I got to work on drafting some rules, so I just wondered whether it might work out. To play the game, I'm going to be using a deck of standard tarot cards and a d6. And I've made this bright yellow kind of desert board, about 2 foot square, well, not really, but about 2 foot square is what you need. And then I'm using 4 miniatures. They're actually sculpts by Tanner Simpson, and therefore they're not really for this game, but I just thought they'd be fun to use. And then I've got some plasticine, and I've got like kind of yellow paper, some bits and pieces. So without boring you with too much detail, how the tarot deck works is you get the minor arcana, which are much more like suits in a regular pack of cards, but instead of being spades and hearts, they are wands, swords, cups, and pentangles. And you get an ace card and then 2 to 10. So they're kind of our probability cards. But then, just like in a pack of cards, you get a jack, a king, and a queen. You get a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. And if any one of those is drawn, then that will trigger the major arcana, which are separate. So the major arcana has 22 cards, from 0, which is the Fool, all the way to 21, which is the World. And each one of these, I've kind of given them an effect on the game. So I'm playing this as a solo play, obviously. So what that'll mean is I've got 3 NPCs, a model for the wands, a model for the swords, and a model for the cups. Because as the player, you're going to play as pentangles. Now, there's a reason for that. Each one of them can perform a ritual, and each ritual is different. So for the wands, they inscribe magical signs in the sand. The swords dig down to the sleeping colossus, and the cups listen to see whether they can hear what the sleeper is saying. Now, the object of the game is to complete 3 rituals. Now, the NPCs could obviously complete all 3 rituals. Either way, it's going to trigger the end event, which is the waking of the sleeper. But if you want to be the one to wake it up, you need to complete 3 rituals. But unlike the NPCs, you don't get to choose. You are a mimic, and there's an uncontrollable force, which means that you don't get to pick which ritual you're going to do. You roll a d6, and you'll either dig or listen or inscribe a symbol. Now each little being, it was originally actually going to be 3 actions per turn, but I was worried that that'd kind of be quite slow, and I wanted a kind of real-time feel to what was happening. So I actually ended up playing it 1 action per turn. You're either going to move, climb, fight, or perform your ritual. And there's a couple of reasons why I did this. One, because there's one other thing at play, and that is that the attitude of the sleeper when it wakes is going to be based on your actions. So if you were empathetic, if you were helpful to the others, if you were altruistic and winning wasn't the main thing for you, you would have picked up empathy points, and that will generate 1 ending. If you were neutral, indifferent, kind of uninterested in what everyone else was doing and got on with your rituals and got on with your actions, or obviously if you caused discord, if you wanted to interrupt them whilst they were doing their rituals, it is possible to fill in holes that have been dug by the swords. It's possible to scrub out the magical symbols in the sand that have been inscribed. But the other thing is that you can shout and distract a listener so that they can't hear properly. Now, there was a bit of a snag with that, because with the other 2, there's physical evidence on the board. You'll either put a little kind of Wile E. Coyote cut-out circle, a piece of plasticine to say, here's a hole, or, draw a little inscribed symbol. Those can be wiped away or filled in at any time. You could just go up to them and fill them in or whatever. But the problem is, obviously, with the listening, that happens on the turn that the cup does the listening. So anyway, I sped that part up, long story short. Now, obviously, I want to get on to the playtest itself, but there's just a couple more details before we do. 1, each character has 3 health points, and it is possible to have what I've called a little buster. So you can go and attack, or you can be attacked. You can also interact with the NPCs, and they have a little interaction table of their own. And there's some fun little things on there. They're kind of strange reactions. They're all quite odd little beings. The MP3s, the small sound files. Now, the NPCs move on a kind of random scatter dice movement where you just roll the d6 and go in the direction that the one is facing. If the one is directly up or down, then they don't move at all, but they still need to turn a card. Now, when I say turn a card, I'll show you everything else when we get going. So here it is, a playtest of Beneath the Sand. So 4 strange beings have been drawn to this point in the desert where they believe the sleeping colossus lies. I've separated the deck into the minor and major arcana, and then the minor arcana have been put into suits. I've got plasticine and yellow paper to mark out any rituals. So let's begin the first turn. I've put each being on 1 corner of the board each, and we're going to start from the top, which is cups. First, he's going to try and move further into the board, so we need a scatter dice. Well, he's not going to move, but we still need to turn a card just in case we get a major arcana card triggered. That's a 6, which means he partially managed to stay still. So with the little cup guy's turn all over, let's move to the ones. He's going to try and move into the board as well. So let's do the scatter dice. Okay, so he's picked a direction. Let's see whether or not he's successful. We've got a Knight of Cups, which means 1, he's successful, and 2, we need to turn a major arcana card. Oh, what a first card. The Death card. A random being loses 1 health point. So I think the easiest way to do this is I'll roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll go around the board, and whoever it is, that's who loses a health point. And if it's a 5 or 6, I'll roll it again. Oh, bloody typical. Right, okay. So let's do a re-roll. That's a 1, which Oh, well, unfortunately it means it's the cup. He loses 1 HP, and I'm just going to make a little note of that. So let's move the wand. Now it's my turn, so I think I'm going to try and move as well. But that's a 2, so I'm unsuccessful in moving. He's a whimsical little fellow, so maybe he's just gazing around. Onto the sword, he needs to move. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's just having a little shoegaze. Back to the cup, and he's going to have another attempt at moving. So we've got a direction, so we need to turn a card. And we've got a 5, so that's a partial success. That's going to kind of halve his movement. Oh, I haven't marked half inches, so I'll move him to about there. The wand is going to have another go at moving, and okay, so we got a direction for this one. Christ, hang on, I've buggered it up already. I've been drawing the wrong ones. He's a wand, isn't he? I've been turning, I don't know what I've been turning. This is the trouble, because obviously I can't have a look what cards they are, because I'll see what the bottom card is. I'm going to have to make some little, I'm going to stop a minute and make some little labels for each deck, I think. What's the old saying? Pentacles, testicles, wallet and watch? Right, now we're talking. On with the show. So let's turn a card from the right deck. And we've got the Page of Wands, which means he's successful, and I need a Major Arcana card. Ah, right, now this is interesting. So I've turned the star, but he's upside down. Now, not that this is like a tarot reading or anything, but if you have a card that kind of falls out of the pack, then you'd use it. Or if you have a card that's upside down, it should invert the meaning of whatever you see. I hadn't really planned for this, but actually it could be quite cool. So let's have a look. You see a symbol in the sky, take a ritual of your choice and count it as completed. So what's the opposite of that? A ritual that you already did, you have to discount, you have to remove one. Anyway, nobody's done a ritual, so I can't really do anything with that. But I tell you what, in future, if anything comes out upside down, I'm definitely inverting the meaning. Right, now, back to my turn. Let's have another go at seeing whether we can move. Oh, that's a better card. So that's an 8, so that means success. So I can move him now. And onto the sword. Let's see whether he can move into the board. Oh. Okay, so that's kind of pointing off the board. I haven't really planned for what happens if they walk off the board. I guess he's out of the game. Right, back to the cup. So I'll maybe move... No, I won't. No, I won't move him. I'll have a go at doing a ritual. 2. Well, that's unsuccessful. Let's see whether the wand can inscribe something in the sand. Oh. That's another 2, exactly the same card, and no, he doesn't. My turn, so I'll have a go at doing a ritual, so I need to roll to find out which one. That's a 6, so that means I'm going to inscribe a symbol in the sand. But I need to turn a card first of all. Okay, 7, so that's a partial. So I can do a symbol, but I need to add to it one more time to make the ritual complete. So let me get my little bit of paper. and the idea is I'm just going to draw whatever comes to mind. So let's do like a little spiral kind of guy, maybe like that, and make him more jaggedy. Then I've popped it on the board, but I would need to go back to that symbol and draw something else on it to make it a complete ritual. Now, shall I give the sword another chance to come back on the board? Let's do a scatter dice, and if it points back onto the board, he's coming back on. Okay, fine. No, he doesn't want to play. Cup's going to have a go at listening to the ground. Now we've got a page of cups, so that means 1, his ritual is successful, and 2, we need a major arcana card. We've got the devil. So 1 being becomes obsessed. We need to roll for that. It's either going to be me or one of the NPCs, and they're just going to be stuck repeating the last action. So whatever they were doing, if it was move, they have to go in that direction, or just over and over again, whatever they're doing. And it's me, so I'm stuck inscribing symbols in the sand, I guess. The wand is next up, and he's going to have a go at moving. Oh, it looks like he's going to be climbing up that sand dune, if he's successful, so let's have a look. Yeah, a 9, that'll do it. Up he goes onto the sand dune. And then it's my turn. Oh, I can't move, can I? I'm stuck repeating the same action until I'm disturbed. I think maybe by a failure to do the symbol. But I don't think I can finish off that partial one. I think it'd be fair if I start to draw another. That's the action over and over, isn't it? Okay, so there you go. So I've completed the action. That's a king. So I'll draw a new symbol. Okay, let's draw a little 3-legged weirdy thing. Give him some arms. So let's pop that down there next to the partial one. And then I still need a major arcana card, and I've pulled the Empress. A strange plant grows in the sand. Place a token. I've got a little button. Anyone who touches it gains 1 HP. I haven't said how you distribute it, so I'll just chuck it on the board and see where it lands. Oh, right, so it's by the soju bottle. Now, I really want the sword to come back on the board. I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to give him one more chance to see whether he'll walk back on. Right, fine, I get the message. The sword is out of the game. Back to the cup, who's going to have another go at listening. And the Ace of Cups is a fail. So the wand's turn. He's going to have a go at drawing a symbol. And he's pulled a 4, so he can't do it either. Now it's back to me, and I'm stuck repeating myself, so I need to try and inscribe another symbol. And I've got a 4, so I fail, but that means that the spell is broken, so at least I can do something different next turn. So let's see whether the cup can make it back to that plant and regain a health point. Give it a roll. Yeah, that looks close enough. And he's got a 5, so he's successful. Off he goes. He's not quite there yet, but he's going in the right direction. Over to the wand, who has a go at inscribing a symbol in the sand. We've got a King of Wands, so he's successful, which means I just need to draw a little symbol. So maybe let's do a few lines. I'm not quite sure what I'm drawing, the pen's running out. It's quite hard to do it one-handed, not being able to hold the piece of paper. There we go, I'll cut that out. And we'll place it right here next to him. And now it's time I think I move around a bit. And I've drawn a Knight of Pentacles, so I'm free to move. So let's just move him over. Now we need a Major Arcana. Right, okay, so we've drawn the Tower. I really wanted this card to come out because, well, you'll see. A tremor splits the sand. Each being is knocked prone and must skip one action next turn. Place a marker for the path of the quake. Roll a d6 for its length in inches. Use a scattered ice to set out its path. Now, as I'm only doing one action per turn, that first part's not going to work very well, is it? So you have to imagine that they all get knocked down and they get back up. It's not really going to affect it. But it's the other bit that I've been looking forward to doing. So I need to roll for the length of the quake first. Yeah, a 6, so that's great. So that's a full-length rip in the sand. If an NPC was to accidentally walk across it, they'd fall in and lose a health point. So I've measured out the 6 inches, so let's pop it on the board. And the scattered ice says it's going in this direction, so let's put it there. Now, it's partially gone through that inscription, so yeah, do I lose it? Let's roll a d6. 1, 2, 3, I lose it. 4, 5, 6, I get to keep it. Oh, okay, a 6, so I'll just bend it around there a little. Now let's see whether the cup can make it to the plant and regain some health. Yeah, that looks close enough, I think. And he draws a 10, so that's pretty convincing. He touches the plant and regains 1 HP. Back to the one now, and he's going to come down off the sand dune, going in this direction. And he pulls out a 10 as well. That's 2 10s in a row, and I had 2 2s earlier, didn't I? So off he goes. I think I'm going to carry on trying to move in this direction. And I've drawn a Page of Pentacles, so it means that I'm successful, but I'm also going to need a Major Arcana card. The sun brings clarity. You may choose the result of your next action. Succeed, partial, or fail. Don't know why you'd pick fail. The cup is going to attempt to listen. And that's an 8, which means he's successful. The wand will attempt to inscribe something in the sand. And he draws an 8. I promise I shuffled these properly. This is really mad. So he's successful. Right. Let's do a little eye this time, I think. There we go. Give it some eyelashes for a finishing touch. And we'll cut that out. And we'll pop it right there. So right now, he's got 2 rituals completed. I have 1.5. Oh, and the cup's got 2 as well. Now I have a free outcome from turning the sun card, so I'm going to move towards the cup and maybe try and interact with him. The cup's going to try for another listen. And he draws a 7, so that's a partial. He's got a half there. The one tries to scratch out another symbol. But he's pulled out a 3, so no good. I think I'm going to try and move into base contact with a cup. Maybe have a go interacting with him. But I pulled an ace, so that's no good either. And the cup is going to attempt to listen one more time. If he's successful this time, it'll make 3, and that will trigger the end of the game. And he's drawn an 8. That's it. 3 rituals. So now it's time to judge the game on its apathy, neutrality, or discord. And considering the game has ended pretty abruptly, there hasn't really been much chance for discord. There hasn't been any violence, but there also hasn't been any empathy either. Nobody's helped each other. There wasn't harmony between them. So I think the most sensible thing is a neutral outcome. And so we need to draw a card, the final card. And we've got the moon. And the moon's neutral ending says, you vanish into illusion, the Colossus dreams forever. I think that's my attempt on a kind of ambiguous ending. Kind of like it though. It makes me think of Brahman, isn't it? The Hindu god who dreams for Kalpa, and then he breathes everything into life, and then he dreams again. So with the playtest complete, what did I think? I really liked it. I think probably the length of the movement, the 3 inches, I was trying to be conservative, but I don't think you get to the chance to interact with each other. And although I think that's a good idea, you know, that the 1 action per turn, but there might be a reason why so many tabletop games have more than 1 action per turn, because there wasn't really a lot of chance to do things. You kind of had to choose between movement or a ritual. So effectively, if you like, they all just could have stood still doing rituals, couldn't they? So maybe that's something that needs a little work. But I think the tarot cards work really well. I love that part of it. I definitely need to go back and develop it a bit more. But I think the tarot cards will definitely work. And at the moment, the game itself obviously doesn't have an aesthetic. But I mean, I suppose it could be anything, really. Anything that anybody can imagine. But I'm pretty satisfied. So I think, So I think I'm going to not go back to the drawing board. But I'm certainly going to go back and see whether I can, develop it a little bit more. And then maybe I'll come back with a second playtest. But thank you ever so much for watching. If you're still watching now, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.